on this episode of Bot versus Con.
Welcome back, BVC fans. As always, I'm Bobby the Bot.
And I'm James the Con, and this is Bot versus Con, where your voice is heard.
And today we have a very special guest on the show. We've been talking about it. This person is actually part of the Realm of Collectors, which has hot YouTube stations like Do You Even Transform Bro, Enter the Realm, and several other programs on YouTube. He's the event coordinator for Botcon, and today we'd like to welcome Derek B.
What's up, everybody?
This is Bot versus Con. Make sure to subscribe and consider becoming a member.
Hey, what's going on, my man? How you doing?
Hey, what's up, fellas? How y'all doing?
We're doing good. Yeah, can't complain.
Can't complain, man.
Good. Never
Actually,
should you.
I can't complain.
Really?
I got some stuff to complain about. It's all James' fault.
Yeah. It's typically my fault. It's the Con's fault, but that's okay. I'll take blame.
Should I leave the room, let y'all sort it out, or okay? All right.
It's gonna be some water getting thrown around. That's what I can say that.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, well, thank you for joining us. We really appreciate you taking the time out your day.
Anytime, man.
I was really excited about this. We've been talking offline for a couple of months now, actually, about bringing you on, and things are getting really close to a special day coming up.
Yes, it is. It is. Botcon 25 is on its way within the next 2 weeks. Within 2 weeks from now. Yeah. June 12th through the 15th, Father's Day weekend, everybody. So, if you haven't gotten your tickets already, go to botcon.com and get your tickets. Weekend, premium, whatever. We got dailies as well. Come on out and hang out with us. It's going to be a very fun time.
So I'm looking forward to it. And, before we jump into the Botcon stuff, I want to get to know you a little bit better.
Sure.
We got our questions here, and we're gonna hit you with a revolving door. It's gonna be me jabbing you, James uppercutting you, me coming back with the right hook. So let's see how you hang in the ring with us.
Hey, let me show y'all how I box then. Let's go.
So let's start off. This is an easy one. What do you remember about the first time us meeting? And I believe it was at TFCon in LA.
In LA, yep. I think we met in the concourse out there when we were standing in line getting ready to come in to the show, and I was around other Realm members. We were all waiting in line to get into the show. Other Realm members. We also had Grant and Carl from the Transformers Underground group there as well. And hey, whenever I'm standing in line, I like to, just make it interesting, create conversations, create situations, and, just have a little fun while we're waiting in line so it won't be so boring. And so, I like to have the crowd, just, thinking about everything except being in line. You know what I mean? I saw you had came by. I had met you previously before that.
Mm-hmm.
I can't pinpoint when.
I can't.
But it was TFCon related. I know it was.
Mm-hmm.
But I met both of you in a separate occasion. I just can't remember. But I definitely remember TFCon LA. Where we hung out in the line together. I think, if I remember correctly, I think y'all cut in line and waited with us. But maybe, I don't know. But we're
sounds
not gonna,
about right.
We're not going to talk about that.
I was going to say that sounds about right.
Sounds about right.
Ain't gonna get y'all in trouble or anything like that.
No, that sounds about right. Yeah. The part that I remember, and this was again after we met, and this is, I didn't know who was who the who's were, and I remember one night we were sitting down at the restaurant, the outdoor restaurant, and we were chopping it up, and we were talking about just all things Transformers, but then also like life, and just sharing, like getting older but still collecting it, still loving the collecting, gonna do this till, to the end, just riding with it. And then also talking about how special everyone was, that you get to meet here and get to hang out with and build these bonds with. And so that's when I was just like, yo, this cat's really cool. I like, it's the plastic, but the plastic brings like-minded people together. And, that's James and I, that's been our bond. And again, connecting with you, connecting with like TM Reviews and Grant and some of the other folks out there, Deluxe and Patriot Prime and all them, just hanging out and getting to know those guys. Some I was a fan of, seeing their YouTube channels, and then finding out that people were interested in our show. That was kind of like, oh, okay, I'm a fan of a fan, and so it was real cool, hearing about you and what you were doing. You had your lady with you, I believe.
Yeah. I don't go anywhere without Sean. So, y'all know, if y'all seen me over the years, a lot of people seen us over the years. I know I don't go anywhere without her. So, yeah. So, she is definitely me. First of all, she's the love of my life. And, she is definitely my travel companion. So yeah, shout out to Sean. Love you, baby. And, and she loves and support everything that I do in regards to the fandom, our community. And, she plays a major part in that as well. So big shout out to her. But going back to what you were saying about, the plastic, we got a saying in the realm. The toys is what gets us there, but it's the relationships that builds a lifetime of love, support, and, community. And community is all what I'm about. I'm about building this community the way it is, that it has become. We've had some bumps in the road. We have our, outliers that, have their issues or whatever. But, for the most part, it's all about just coming together, having that common bond in what we love, and then, enjoying life, together as well, So yeah, I'm in full support of just, coming together, not spending a dime other than, building a beer tab and getting some appetizers together, and all of us just having a great time, So, and that's a lot of what the Realm of Collectors do. As a whole, because we do other events outside of the standard ones like TFCon and Botcon. We do NJCC. We do other events like ToyCon in New Jersey. A lot of East Coast, at least a lot of East Coast shows, but we try to spread around because there's so many of the community around. So, but of course, we all centralize into the, into the main shows, and I know we're going to talk about that. But community is everything to me, and I do everything to protect what we have in this community, and that's the friendships, the bond, and building into essentially family. Because when you've been doing this for as long as I have, you get to know a lot of people. You form bonds with people. You form relationships with people. So this is what I love the most for me. You know what I mean? So yeah. And shout out to everyone that's in our community. I don't know a better place to be outside of with my natural family. Because it's nice to everybody has their families and their unique family dynamics, but this community is like family to me, and I love being a part. I love being amongst my other family. You know what I mean? So,
right. No, I think we feel that very strongly as well with the bonds we've made at TFCon through several of the people we've made. And it was funny because it was the first day for me and Bobby meeting a lot of these people that we still are, pretty close with. Because we met at TFCon LA 2022. Mm-hmm. And that same day we met like everybody else that we hang out with. So it was very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you were just there, it would have been perfect.
Yeah.
Hey man, look. I try to bring everybody in, I try to bring everybody to the bar, it's just like, as soon as you get out the dealer room, all right, what we doing now? Well, I tell you what we're doing now. Let's go to the bar. You know,
my man.
You know the funny thing about that is, I'm not a drinker. I'm not a drinker, but I'll get around everybody and let them do their drink thing, and then let them do whatever it is. But as long as we're having cool conversation,
that's what it's about.
And a lot of it is it's sometimes about toys, but people think that collectors, all they do is get around each other and talk about toys and talk about the next thing coming around. I'd be very shocked to know how much we talk about we talk about each other, we talk about our families, we talk about our kids, talk about the way we came up, what we were interested in back in the day, and all of that good stuff. But that's how we get to know each other. And then when we support each other's shows, and we talk about each other, but that's what that's all about. So hopefully, if anybody, for everyone that's watching this, you learn that hey, come outside your box. We're here, and we're not going anywhere. We're not going to scare you away. Because I know there's a lot of lurkers out there that just just like to be behind the scenes, and that's cool. There's nothing wrong with that, because a lot of people learn as they're watching in the background, because they want to see if that's the safe space for them. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I love creating safe spaces.
Yeah,
facts on that. Mm-hmm. Totally agree. Yeah, no, this has always been a no judgment zone. I mean, I judge James, but that's the one off, but no, I mean,
so it's mutual.
Yeah, but it's like you said, it's a safe place, because no matter what you like, we all like the same thing. It may not be the same continuity or the same whatever, but we all like the same thing. So we always tell people, hit us up in the comments. I try to make sure that we answer every single comment that comes through, to the best of our abilities. And sometimes it gaining more subs, appreciate it. Click that subscribe button, but it takes a little bit longer than it used to. But that's one of the things I wanted to do, because I want, if you took the time to write us, I want to take the time to respond back to you.
Indeed.
And let you know that it is safe to, no matter if you like something, great. If you don't like something, great. Like, that's what we wanted our channel to be about. So exactly what you said, it's a safe space.
Indeed. And I love it.
Yeah. Well, why
especially
don't we...
when James go, when y'all are doing the toy reviews, and then he'll go, Bobby, yeah, I know you're gonna get that. I'm like, wow, he just all in his pockets. All right, so yeah, I love it.
Not wrong.
Yeah, I know, right? You usually aren't wrong. I
don't know.
He'll have it in hand. He'll have it in hand for the next 2 shows, and it's just like, yo, right?
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't even know what you're talking about. Y'all ain't gonna be talking about me in my face like that.
Yeah, but no, I'm a huge fan of the show. I appreciate everything y'all do. So
we really appreciate it. But let's still get to know you a little bit more and strip this back a little bit.
Right.
So can you describe your relationship with Transformers, how it began, and how it's grown?
So you want to talk about my relationship with Transformers? So, hey, I've never had that question asked that way to me before. I mean, I never really asked Transformers out on any dates, but
will you go with me?
Yeah, I mean,
you didn't take.
Do you like me? I like you. Do you like me? Check the box, yes or no. And I guess they check yes, and then now we have all these years of happiness together and all that. No, but seriously, me and my relationship with Transformers started way back in the original G1 era. Yeah, I'm that old, but I don't look it. Thank you. We get it. Sure don't, but sure don't. But I've been day one with Transformers since '84, and with it coming on the scene in Marvel Comics in '83, And when the cartoon came out, and and then you had GoBots alongside. I'm a robot fan in general.
Yeah.
So Transformers is just one of my many robot loves. Coming out of the gate, you had Optimus as the leader, and he was just a very remarkable and an inspiring entity to have watching on a show. It inspires you just to do good, just to do the things that you want to actually you want to feed that positive energy into your life to do good things. And I think that was what Optimus represented in my life when I was coming up. Then Blaster came along and then just had me at parties. So and a lot of people know that Blaster is my favorite character, my favorite Transformer of all. It's like, if you ask me what my favorite Transformer is Blaster, hands down. Although he was not my first. Wait, no, he was my first Transformer that I owned. I've asked for Transformers when they first came out, and I got GoBots. A lot of some of y'all know why that is, because when it comes to the 80s and toys, when you have similar genres that are selling, most parents, particularly mine, is going to see what the most cost efficient is for them. Oh, he might like GoBots. These are Transformers too. So let's just get them to nothing, because they get me a whole. You can get GoBots for like it. I'm gonna put it in perspective. Bumblebee, Turbo. Bumblebee is on card $15.99, $12. Turbo, $6. Guess which one I'm getting? And there you go. So, but as the years went by, I got on my eighth birthday. No, I'm sorry. No, in my 10th or 11th birthday, I got Blaster because I asked for him. And the only reason why I got him is because my dad actually took me to KB Toys and let me pick out what I wanted. And so that's how I got Blaster. And of course, Blaster ain't have tapes back then. And, Blaster didn't have tapes until the movie. So it was kind of but it was bittersweet to me, because Blaster became my favorite character as a result of that. Watching him on the show, and then having his toy as I'm watching the show. I'm getting close into my teen years, because when Transformers came out, I was 9. I was 9, getting ready to turn 10. As a matter of fact, the first episode came out September 17th. My birthday is September 20th. So I was 9, and when I turned 10, guess what I wanted? I wanted Transformers, got GoBots, got Transformers a year later, and then, and so on and so on. But I didn't stop buying Transformers since day one. I've been buying Transformers, or being gifted Transformers, in my adolescent years. And then when I got out on my own and got older, of course, guess what I'm doing? I'm still buying Transformers, because it's just my favorite thing. It's my favorite thing to have. So, but yeah, Transformers has always been my favorite thing to have. Of course, there were other things that came about as well. But Transformers has always been my main thing. Transformers and GoBots. Amazingly enough, I got into Diaclone later on, because that's where the origins of Transformers came out of. And I got into Diaclone as a result of them coming into some of our stores. They migrated over into the US. Microman migrated over into the US. So I got into that. I look at some of the pieces that I used to own on eBay. I wanted to get one. I wanted to get one set that I had. My brother had, actually. It was a snowmobile a helicopter and a jet that combined into a robot.
Oh.
And I found it on eBay, and they wanted over $2,000 for it. I was like, nah, I'm a wait. I'm gonna wait until I get that third job. What's your second job? I ain't got one, and I'm not gonna get a third either. So yeah. So yeah, but you know, you never know, because I always wanted to get that piece again and just show it to my brother and be like, "Yo, guess what I got?" You know, and then be like, "Wasn't that mine?" I'm like, "It was." Not now.
Not this one.
Not this one. Yeah, but yeah, I love Diaclone coming up as well. I mean, like I said, anything robot related, I was really, really into. I was a creator coming up as well. You know, doing the building block things. I was into Legos way before Legos was even really popular. You know, I was literally into making Transformers with Legos. It's just moving around the different blocks to turn into different things, and then try to move certain pieces so it'll be sort of have arms and legs
combined.
Yeah, yeah. So Hasbro, I thought of transforming Legos before you did. So just want you to know that you heard it here first, people. You heard it here first.
Me too.
So yeah, you did. Yeah, yeah. So I mean, I know. There's an age gap between us too. So just to let you
really.
know. Really? Okay.
I'm right. 48.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, I'm knocking on your door.
Oh, yeah, you're approaching. I just turned 50 last year. So,
yeah.
Okay. That's what's up. All right. Hey, man, where your gray? You take that hat off. I bet you see it. Oh, wow. Oh, yeah. Oh, yo, Bobby. Tell me something. Now I'm asking you a question. Do you use Just for Men or another brand?
Nothing.
Come on, Bobby.
Juices and berries.
Yeah, I was going to say this juice. You on that juices and berries diet? Huh?
No, okay. I don't use anything like this. And I tell people, this 48 years of growth right here too. Like
really,
all that.
Never cut it,
man. I mean, I've cut this down before, but like this is probably a year of growth right here.
Really.
And this will get a little bushy, but like to all that like James got, man, I'll have to get it. I'll have to be a different person.
Look, James will cut that off tonight, and it'll grow right back next week.
I think that was where it was in October.
So really? Oh, okay.
Yeah. I usually cut it before TF cons.
Gotcha. Oh, okay.
Nobody notices, but
yeah.
Yeah, no.
Okay, all right. I know we're going off the rails. I'm sorry. I tend to sometimes do that with people. But Transformers, it's been a part of my life all my life. So a great majority of my life. 40 years of 40 years of Transformers for me. So yeah.
So it seems like because you talked about Prime, you talked about Blaster being your favorite. You didn't mention any Decepticons, so I'm gonna take it that you're more Autobot than Decepticon.
Absolutely.
Okay. Mama.
I despise people that think they're Decepticons. Not you, James. You're the exception. But when people tell me, I'm all Decepticon, I'm like, you're evil. I don't want to be around you.
I consider myself more of like a lockdown character.
Oh, like a mercenary type?
Yeah, I just don't really care about the politics. Just give me some fun.
There you go. But no, in all seriousness, no. You do have your favorite Decepticons. I think my absolute favorite Decepticon is Soundwave because of his loyalty, his respect, and his ability to not be in trouble, not find himself in troublesome situations. He's very covert, and he operates well in the shadows and everything. I mean, if you think about it, he's literally a ninja, and a lot of people don't even look at him like that. Yeah. He's a ninja, Think about it,
Yeah.
So yeah. So yeah, no, Soundwave was probably my favorite Decepticon, but I'm Autobot to my core. So
yeah.
So you already answered this question: is who is your favorite Transformer and who is your favorite Decepticon? So I'm going to switch it up and say, who is your favorite Transformer not from G1?
Ooh.
Not from G1?
Yes.
Okay. Let me step outside. Let me step outside of that. Let's go to Beast Wars. And I'll start with season 1. My favorite is golly. I never really because I love all of them. Probably in season 1 it had to be Dinobot because of the way he came in and the way he transitioned over, the way he found himself transitioning over through circumstances, and realizing that he's actually a Maximal at heart, but circumstances put him together with Megatron, and once he realized that he really is a Maximal at heart, he really embraced that and accepting certain situations, of course. But yeah, I would say Dinobot is probably my favorite Maximal. And then when season 2 kicked off, it had no, not even season 2, season 3, Death Charge.
No, yeah,
amazingly enough, and I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but I had a sit down with Bob Forward at a Botcon in 2002, I believe it was, and I asked him, and I got it on video. I got it on video tape. I had, you remember camcorders back then with the little tape
that popped out on the side?
Yes. That's I had one of those, and I had it posted up. And I would literally ask them, I said, is the reason why y'all got rid of Dinobot is because you knew that he couldn't coexist with Depth Charge? That had to be a true statement. And then he laughed about it. He was like, no, I mean, probably, but Depth Charge had to be introduced no matter what. I said, ain't no way in the world y'all would have been able to have Depth Charge and Dinobot coexist on the same team. Is not gonna work. The way them two work, nah, I don't see it. They're gonna kill each other. And then y'all can't allow that type of violence. So one of them had to go. So yeah, that's my theory. He laughed about it. It was cool and everything. But yeah, I had that theory about it. But those two are my favorites. It's a given that Optimus Primal, Rat Trap, and Cheetor, and a lot of people pick Rhinox because Rhinox was that guy behind the scenes, and he was just doing all the scientific stuff. But a lot of people didn't like him really until he got into Beast Machines. But really, nobody liked Beast Machines, so we're not going to talk about that. But next question. So yeah.
So then I'm taking it that G1 was your favorite continuity.
It's absolutely, because it brought it. That's where I originated, and the lore came in when Beast Wars came in, because G1 was all about selling toys,
right? And
there was really no character development when it came to G1. You didn't really have story-driven Transformer episodes until Beast Wars came about. I know there's some people that don't like Beast Wars because of the animation, which is a very, in my opinion, this is just me, that's a lame excuse to not watch Beast Wars.
It hurts my eyes.
yeah, right. But I'm just like, but you had to appreciate Beast Wars because Beast Wars was that show where it wasn't so episodic. It was just it was an ongoing story,
right,
that needed to be told. You found out about some of the history of Cybertron just from watching that show. You found out in depth some of the characters. You found out about their personalities, how they became who they are. You found out they introduced protoforms, sparks, All of the lore that's you're seeing right now, all of that originated from Beast Wars, and not a lot of people give their credit to Beast Wars as a result of that. So shout out to Beast Wars for that, because it caused them to expand it into other shows. You had the Unicron trilogy, you had the line continuity with Transformers Prime, you had Transformers RID, which was actually Transformers Robots in Disguise with it was the car robot series from Japan. And but all of that developed based on everyone taking their cue off of Beast Wars, because there was an investment in watching Beast Wars, and as a result of that, you watch the other shows and you invest your time in learning about the different characters, even in that one too. And it teaches, in each of these shows, teaches you different things about the origin of Cybertron. So that's how invested I was when it came to Transformers as a whole. So when y'all ask me, what about Transformers I like, it's because it grew with me. It grew as I was coming up, and it made me see, and it allowed me to see different aspects of the Transformers universe. So yeah, I'm Transformers to my core, no doubt.
You were just speaking James' language. He's always, he's a huge fan of Beast Wars and everything.
Oh, okay.
That's what I grew up with when I was a kid.
Yeah, and that's your G1.
Yeah, exactly.
That's your G1. Yeah. And everybody has their G1 to what they were introduced to when they came into the Transformers universe. And that's dope. I mean, coming in with Beast Wars gives you the appreciation of G1, because they introduced G1 characters in there, like Starscream.
Yeah.
They talked about the original. They talked about the cast of the Ark. They talked about the Nemesis and all of that. So it made you go, I think I'm gonna go watch Transformers and see where all this actually came from, and put some time in on that. And I don't know if that's what you did, but
I read the comics.
Yeah, you read the comics, and some of it, some of what they did in the comics as well. And see, the Marvel run didn't get a lot of mention in the cartoons.
Yes.
But I'm talking about in the new cartoons outside of G1.
Got it.
But because everyone references back to G1, the G1 cartoon, not because if they did the Marvel run, well, first of all, they couldn't really do it because Marvel had a lot of their own characters in there, like Spider-Man.
I was just about to say an iconic cover with Spider-Man and Megatron.
Right. Yeah, they had those characters in there. And a lot of those you couldn't talk about.
Circuit Breaker was another one.
Yep, Circuit Breaker, GB Blackrock, Beyonder.
Yeah.
He was in. I found out he was in the UK. He was in the UK run. I was like, wow. So they had him involved in the UK run, and he was with Circuit Breaker at the time. Mm-hmm. So I had a run in with. It was like a brief stint though. It wasn't like a long run with him, but because you couldn't mention those characters in the Transformers lore, you missed that. You missed that if you're not reading the comics.
Yeah.
So
I missed it.
Yeah, man, go back, man. I'm telling you, it's a treat. Only bad memory I got of that is, and it's kind of my own fault. I had just purchased issue number 3 of the Headmaster series, and I brought it to school with me. So in my downtime in class, I was trying to read it, and because I got my work done, I'm just waiting to get out of class, and the teacher took it, and I never got it back. At the end of the year, I'm like, yo, where my book at? It's time for me to go. I'm out to school. I want my book back. He said, I threw that book away. All right. So for legal purposes, I can't tell y'all what happened, but I just want y'all to know that I eventually got that book back.
Teacher ain't never gonna throw a book away. Teacher ain't gonna never throw a book away again.
I don't think he will. You know, I got a dad, so you know, it's like yo. But no. But in all seriousness, I did eventually get those that particular book back as well as others, and it's been an incredible run. But that's it.
Well, you've really talked about Transformers, but Bobby had Mask. I had like Bionicle and stuff when I was a kid. Did you have any other brands that you collected, or was it only Transformers?
No, I did have Mask. I had the entire Mask run. Surprisingly, I did because I watched the show. I collected the toys, had all of the Mask vehicles, Venom vehicles. I didn't reach the Grand Prix era where they were racing. As far as the toys, I did watch the series though. I did watch it.
Goliath.
Because yeah. I missed out on that. I missed out on that Slingshot. I missed out on
Bullet.
No. Right. No. No, I was thinking about Vampire, because Vampire was the one,
the red and black
motorcycle. Yeah. No, Bullet was something else. It was
the motorcycle and the wheels split.
The wheels split out like that.
It was like a hovercraft.
Right. Yeah. I missed out on that one too.
I had the toy, but I wanted it for real.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I also collect. I had the I can't remember the name of it.
I don't know what
basically
was.
So basically, you wear it as a glove. They're insects. And
insectoids, wasn't that what it was?
No. It was sectars.
Yeah.
I had a couple of them. I had visionary characters with the holographic chest with the different emblems on them. Didn't get all the characters. I had two Inhumanoid characters. I had Herc basically the orange. No. It was the orange. The guy. It was the guy and the buzz cut guy. But I can't remember their names. But I ended up giving those away. I can't remember. I can't even remember who I gave those to. But I had those two characters. But there were Earth Core figures from Inhumanoids.
Okay.
Y'all probably don't know what that is, but that's all right.
I don't remember the name. I remember them.
Me too.
Thundercats. I did Thundercats. I only did a couple of those characters. I didn't do the whole run, but I did Thundercats, Silverhawks. There was a lot of 80s toys that I actually got my hands on and actually own. But it's like, but we came up in that era where when you got out of school, first thing you come in to do is get home, watch cartoons, and then maybe do your homework. Now you're supposed to do it the other way around, but we didn't really get to appreciate doing that until VCRs actually became, more prevalent and everything. So you can actually record your shows, you can time and record them, do your homework, and then watch them later on, on VHS, which is what I ended up doing.
And didn't do your homework at all, and just
oh no, man, my parents, man, they don't play not doing your homework. And the thing is, when we was coming up, we always had homework, so there was never a time where we couldn't say we don't have homework. We had homework, and we had to get it done, and then we had to show it to them. They don't check it; they just show it to them, and then we go do our thing. Now it could have been a paper with some scribbles on it and a couple of fractions on it, and they would have been like, okay, you did your homework. If they checked it, that'd be a whole other thing. So but yeah, I did that, recording the shows, and I had a library. My dad would make me buy my own tapes, because you would buy them in like a pack, and yeah. You can get them from the video store, you can get them from the department stores and whatnot, or the electronics store at the time. This was before Best Buy. So, yeah, I'm really. Hey, yo, Bobby, I'm really dating myself. Yeah, I hope that. Y'all really.
I'm right there with you.
Y'all really squeezing the juice out of me tonight. So, I know we still got a whole lot to talk about. But before I go into that deep dive, let me just let y'all go to the next thing, because that's a whole other thing. So, yeah.
Well, okay. Where did the what come from? Where'd that come from?
Amazingly enough, it started out when Botcon first came back out. I had joined the realm officially in 2017. I've been running with them guys since then, and I've been watching them do their shows. Enter the Realm, been watching that. Enter the Realm is the flagship show for the Realm of Collectors YouTube channel. Now, that show, everybody watch on Monday. It comes on every Monday night, and it's live. And, it's just an amazing show to watch. Every collector should definitely watch it. I've been watching it for years, and they had other shows birthed from, doing all that type of stuff. And I started out on a show. I came on a show as a guest. It was called Right Out the Box. And it was Dust, Jose, Dormammu, and on this particular night, I had a guy named Ricky. I don't know if y'all know Ricky Tiki Timber. You've probably seen him around. He was on, and then I came on because they were just asking people to come on and show their latest stuff, and then you can show it right out the box. Because that was the premise of the show, is to show what you bought and then take it out the box and give your own little personal review on it. And that was it. And at the time, I had just got the Fire Guts Power Baser from Fans Hobby, yeah. And so I showed that off, and then it ended up me being on that show on a bi-weekly basis, and and that was my end on being on the YouTube shows. I've been part of the community for a while, but doing live podcasts is a unique experience, man. It's a dope experience. Once you, it's almost like a drug. Once you start it, you got to keep doing it again and again and again. Say no to drugs. But
facts.
I wanted to be on more, so they started doing other shows. Right Out the Box eventually evolved into Do You Even Transform, Bro? And that show we did, and we just kept going for a while until we decided to make it a permanent thing. And we do You Even Transform now. Do You Even Transform, Bro? Is on bi-weekly on Tuesday nights. So we do that every other week. The thing about doing podcasts, and y'all can attest to this, you have real lives, and you can't be doing a show every day. So it's just like you got to have a break between those times, because life is life. Now, I'm fortunate that my kids are older now, and they're adults, with the exception of my youngest, who will be 16 later on in the year. And she's, and y'all have probably seen her at conventions with me as well. But yeah, what came from? Okay, so ETR, Botcon had just announced that they were going to be in Nashville. This is the return of Botcon. Mm-hmm. They had announced that they were going to be in Nashville. Chris Pinkerton, who heads a lot of the activities that happens within the Realm of Collectors, worked it out so the Realm would have a get together party there. One of the things that is real popular with the Realm of Collectors is called the Rock Box. Now, what the Rock Box is a is a gathering of like a T-shirt, excuse me, some knickknacks like like spudgers, and occasionally they'll put stuff in like Lego building block things that turns into like Transformer stuff. Like one year we had a Lego set that turned into Roller, and I still have it, and it's actually pretty cool. And you get keychains and all that type of stuff. This particular year, and our mascot for the Realm of Collectors is Ollie, ex-Transboss Ollie. Okay. So, and that's Wheelie, as y'all know. Now, this year, they wanted to do an actual figure. So, the Realm of Collectors is on record to be the first collector group to come out with their own third-party themed figure.
Oh, that's dope.
What they did was they took that Ollie and created a shattered glass version of him in purple and called him Nelson. If you haven't seen it, I wish I had it with me right now.
I wish I had it.
It was in this particular rock box, and I actually got the box right here. I'll actually show you. Let me show you what the box actually looked like. The box looked like this. It has the Realm of Collectors logo on the front of it, and it's a very exotic box. It opens up like this. Right now, I have a lot of my New Age figures and New Age and Magic Square figures in it right now, because I keep that box around for that. But that box had a T-shirt, a lot of knickknacks, the spudgers, everything a collector needs when they're messing around with their Transformers, and the third party figure. Okay. And so if you got that rock box, that admitted you into the party that they had that night. Now, when they announced them being at Botcon on ETR, and you can go back to this episode and actually watch it. I'm in the chat squad. That's what we call the people that are live in the chat. Chris announced that we're gonna be at Botcon, and then in all caps, I go, what? Because I'm excited about that notion of them being a part of Botcon.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this was the year that I was not doing, that I was not officially a staff on Botcon yet. That year was actually my intro into becoming staff later on for Botcon. So when I did that moniker, what? Chris was like, man, you know what, Derek? I'm gonna take that what and put it on a T-shirt, and we're gonna make some money. And so that became my moniker from that point forward. So every show that we did and that I was on, I introduced myself as Derek WHAAAT B, and that's how I got introduced. Look, we even created Instagram. We created my Instagram account with that whole thing. And, there was like, Derek, you need to do this. Sean was making T-shirts, hats, all his merch based on that whole moniker, and had my face on it and everything. It was crazy. But yeah, but that's where what came from.
Okay.
That's where what came from. It came from me being in a chat squad, being excited about the Realm of Collectors having a party, a nighttime party at Botcon in Nashville.
That's really dope. That's really dope. Like the whole.
So look, when y'all entered, okay, so I realized. See, I now this is something that a lot of people will learn about me later. Sometimes I get long-winded, and then you ask me a question, and I go through the long way to give you the actual answer, and I got to get better with that. Sean actually gets on me about that too, so don't mind me. But forgive me for being long-winded. I'm going to try to be short-winded from this point forward. Let's go. Lightning round.
We love it. We love it. Learn more about you.
Yeah.
So this is actually switching gears a lot, but it is something that we wanted to bring up with the current circumstances. So how do you feel about this tariff situation, and has it changed your collecting at all?
So it's unfortunate that we're having to potentially deal with the tariff situation that the current administration has placed. Is placed to be enforced. There's a lot going on in the world right now, and a lot of people are going through a bunch of things. Tariffs, unfortunately, doesn't just affect us as collectors. It affect us as consumers as well. On our Do You Even Transform, bro, and this is another plug. On that show, we did a 2-part tariff episode where we talked about how the tariffs affect you as a collector and gives you the information you need to make potential future decisions on what you want to do. Now, as far as how it affects me, it has definitely caused me to pause and slow down as I'm learning how all of this is coming about, and just wanted to take the time to not rush into doing purchases that is going to cost me more money than I actually need to spend. So yeah, it's caused me to really look at what I have now and actually decide if I actually need it. You know what I mean? For me, for Transformers, I'm into collecting seasons 1 through 4 of the G1 series, which means, as you can already imagine, season 4 definitely is not complete. And actually seasons 1 and seasons 3 are not complete yet. Well, season 1 is complete, but there's these upgrades that we're waiting for. Like, we need a new wind charger. Like, I got the X Transbots wind charger. That's choice. So we're waiting on some of these replacements to happen. But as we're waiting, we got this situation lingering over us. And, it's causing us to make life decisions because the cost is already high with what's out there already. And it's going to triple or even quadruple as a result of these tariffs. We still don't have dead end yet. Now, dead end, Fansoy's dead end, I already got my deposit down on that.
Yep.
What's to say that when they actually finally get ready to ship, I'm going to have to pay for it again? Do I want to do that? No, I really don't. But at the same time, fortunately, I've deposited into a company, Nick the Toy Guy, that, he's trying to help us. He's trying to, guide us through everything that he's experiencing with fan stores right now. And, it's giving us options to either not do it or get money back or whatever. Mm-hmm. But fortunately, they do have a 90-day pause, and it's down to 30%. Now, a lot of people are saying, "Whew, that's close." That's still a lot of money. It's still high when it comes to certain pieces. We ordered that Lewin Metroplex from BBTS, and it hasn't shipped to us yet. Still waiting on that. A lot of people went with other companies and they got the Metroplexes in time before the tariff situation. Let's see. Do we really feel like paying 30% of $1,600? No. So that's how it's caused me to pause on some of the things that I've been doing. It's also given me the opportunity to reevaluate. Do I really want to get into doing pre-orders? Because that's because certain companies, you get stuck in that, and then if a tariff is attached to that, you're going to have to pay that extra money, because most pre-orders have what's called non-refund NRDs, which is non-refundable deposits. Okay, and those NRDs can be 20, 15, 20, $30. And if you're a guy like me, you're looking at every dime you spend on anything, so you don't want to lose nothing. Yeah, I ain't cheap, but at the same time, I'm cheap. if you get what I'm saying, So, but yeah, it's that, and so yeah, tariffs. The whole tariff situation is actually giving a lot of people some pause to think about what it is that they really want to do with their setups and everything. I know it's giving me a lot to think about, and I went and did a deep dive into this whole blocky thing. I'm in a serious rabbit hole with blockies, but even if I get hit with that tariffs, that's gonna be a thing. So yeah, that's where I'm at with the tariff situation.
No,
I hope that was a shorter version than the other questions. So
I think we're in the same boat here, but it's I like to hear other people's ideas, thoughts, what kind of changes it's made, because I'm somebody who, James asks me all the time, what did that cost or how much did that cost, and I'm like, no, I don't remember, because I put a pre-order in, and I
already paid for it.
I paid for it, and that it was done, and besides that, I did that with like 12 other figures as well. So when you ask me what a specific price is, I'm like, I don't know. But now, like you said, I haven't put as many pre-orders in lately because the unknown, and it makes you appreciate what you do have already, and then you start looking at it as like, look, I spent $80, $100, $200, whatever, pick a price, and then it's like, for something that's similar or less, I'm gonna pay twice as much, 3 times. I can't. That's like, I don't know any business, and I consider myself a business. I don't consider any business who's paid more for less and has been successful.
Right. Now, fortunately, in our market, most third-party companies that are overseas, they just stop all sales for the U.S., and it's unfortunate, but at the same time, they're actually looking out for us in that aspect.
They are,
because what they don't want to do, because they realize what's going on, and they don't want to lose business. They're playing the long game when it comes to that, because what you're looking at, what you're ultimately looking at is, what is this going to look like in the future? Because this is going to cause them to change their pricing, and this is going to cause them to potentially price gouge me into something that I really want, but I can't trust the pricing because they've used this opportunity to inflate the price on something that I really want, and they've inspired other businesses to do the same. And it's unfortunate that that happens, but that happened during COVID. It happened during COVID, and a lot of people have learned their lessons when it came to COVID as well. A lot of these businesses took notes, and and are currently trying not to repeat the same mistakes they did with the COVID situation, because a lot of the stuff went up high, and Fans Toys had a lot of releases during that time too. Fans Toys and Fans Hobby had a lot of releases, and we got hurt. There were exclusives that came out, fortunately, but it did raise the prices on exclusives, but fortunately it wasn't like drastic. But at the same time, with the current tariff situation, it's crazy. It's crazy. What I can tell you is that it didn't affect Botcon exclusives this year, so I'm loving that. We were able to work around that and navigate through that. But there's still some things that is still being affected, and we're just trying to we're trying to see how we're going to navigate through that. But everyone's you can rest assured that we're going to be okay with the exclusives for Botcons this year. So.
So this is a two-part question,
Okay.
and it's one, how did you get involved with Botcon?
Okay.
And then the second part, and James, I'm just going to knock out two here. How do you feel about the Hasbro and the mainline versus third party? Like, and the reason I bring that up is because I've never been to Botcon, so this is gonna be my first Botcon. But as I understand
you're in for a treat.
Yeah, James always mentioned it that Hasbro was all Botcon at first, and then there was no third party, and now it kind of is. So how, if you can answer those kind of two questions for us.
Sure. So I became involved with Botcon as a result of me wanting to be involved in the Nashville show. I was already gaining the personality, and I was already popular amongst the community, and I knew Hanny personally at the time, and we got to talking, and I was telling them that I was coming to Botcon anyway. I actually paid for the premiere experience and all of that. And I just want, me and Sean just wanted to come. So we said, he said, hey, what kind of stuff do you do when it comes to the conventions? And we were talking about it, and was talking about, I would love to do panels and all that type of stuff. He was like, can you run the panels for the show here in Nashville? I was like, sure, I can do it. He said, cool. And he said, also, since you're going to do that, we got Frank Welker this year. Can you do a sit-down interview with him for one of the panels? I was like,
sure. Yeah, I think I can do that. Let me check my schedule.
Right. I was like, yeah, all right, well, give me a chance to think about it, and I'll let you know. Yes, I'll do it. Yeah. But yeah, that was the icing on the cake for me that year, because again, I wasn't staffed that year and I was just coming in. But that experience that I had with Frank Welker that year was bucket list worthy. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I got to interview Frank Welker in front of a live audience, and I got to ask him all the questions that I wanted. And it was like me being in the audience and having unlimited mic time coming up to the mic.
One more thing.
It was right. Well, it was. I had all my questions written down and ready for him, and I had just enough questions. But I didn't want to take up the entire panel filling up my questions. Wanted to give the audience a chance,
right? Because
I know what it's like to be in that audience and want to ask a question to someone I really want to talk to. You know what I mean? You both of you have been in panels where you had the voice actors in there, or you've had creators in there that you wanted to ask specific questions, and you're going up to the mic and you're hoping that there'll be enough time where you get up to that mic and be able to ask that question to that person and have them give you the answer that you're looking for, and plus more. Because a lot of those folks, they elaborate on some of the questions that they ask you, and on some of the answers that they give you as a result of those questions. And you're literally at that microphone, feeling like y'all are having a one-on-one conversation.
Yep.
It's no better experience in the world to be able to do that in a panel with a personality that you really admire. It's almost like meeting your heroes in a sense, you know what I mean? But I got to sit down one-on-one with the great one, the Mel Blanc of voice acting. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That's what we giving him that. He didn't call himself that. We gave him that. And y'all know who Mel Blanc is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, very famous voice actor, passed away years ago, but he was the voice of Bugs Bunny.
Bugs Bunny,
and literally every Looney Tunes character.
Yes. I just saw an interview he did on like Johnny Carson or something like that. So
yeah. Frank Welker has an amazing resume when it comes to the voice talent work that he has done over the years. And I got to sit chair to chair with him, look him eye to eye, and really talk to him and ask him the questions that I had for him. Gave him got him a chance to talk to the audience. I mean, it was a great experience, and I didn't want to give that up. So I met with Hanny. He met with me after the show. He said he really liked what I did, and he was like, "Dude, you want to stay on and just keep working with us until we decide not to do it?" I said, "Absolutely, yeah." Oh, you got me. You got me. So, that was my end. That was my end at Botcon, and I've been with them ever since. I've been rocking with Hanny ever since. But even before that, if you know Hanny from Agabus, stand up dude. He'll give you the shirt off his back, literally. My first encounter, and if I can talk about this real quick, my first encounter with Hanny was at TFCon 2018, I believe it was 2018 or 2017, and he had his booth up, and I was getting my cone heads from him, the Toy World cone heads, before they went to Zeta. So I went to and I got the Ramjet. The Ramjet that he had, I noticed that when I looked at it, it was missing a screw. And I showed it to him, and he was just like, "I can get you." He said, "I can get you that screw. Don't worry about it." And he gave me a percentage off on the jet. And I was like, "Okay, that's cool. I just take it. I take it like this then." Man, 2 weeks later, I get an envelope in the mail, and it was a little piece of paper in it with that screw in it, and a note that said, "Hey, Derek, just wanted to let you know. I just wanted to keep my word and let you know that I was going to get you that screw, and so hopefully it's the right screw that you need for the Ramjet." And it was. And man, I was like, "Yo, I'm rocking with Hanny. Hands down, I'm rocking with Agabus." And we have those experiences with other vendors as well. Mm-hmm. You have Chosen Prime, your sponsors. You have Chosen Prime. You got Toy Dojo, ages 3 and up. At the time, we had Capture Prey, Orson's store. Man, I miss Orson. Man, when you talk about great vendors, Orson was definitely one of those. I remember I bought when I first bought the X-Transbot Scourge. When I first bought him, I took him all the way home, and he did not come with fracas. The whole Target Master was not in it. I had to shoot him a message. I was just like, "Look, man, I know you don't know me from Adam, and I'm not trying to jerk your chain here, but my Scourge doesn't have fracas with it. Rim Shot, I think the third party name was." And he said, "Okay, let me look into it." And then he sent me a whole he sent me fracas. He just sent me a whole one. I don't know how he got it or whatever, but he sent it to me, and it's displayed right here. So it's all about so vendors like that, you want to have those engagements with, and you want to have those relationships with.
Yep.
There are those big ones like BBTS, TF Source, and everyone has their unique experiences with them. I've had my unique experiences with them as well, particularly TF Source. I don't know. I'm not sitting here trying to bash or glorify these vendors, but at the same time, appreciate your experiences for what they are, because when you're directly dealing with them, you're dealing with them in business. It's never personal. Never take it personal, because it's what's called a business transaction. When you go to the store and go to the front checkout line and check out your stuff, you don't know, you're not in it with that cashier learning about their life and what they do for a living outside of what they do here. These guys at the shows, they give you that opportunity in that space. So when you're sitting there talking to a Brandon, you're talking to a Orson, you're talking to Hanny, you're talking to Eddie, you're talking to Boris, all of those guys, man, they are invested in you as a customer, but they're also invested in you as a person. So when you have these conversations with them, it forms relationships. You know, when you have issues, you know, they know who you are, and you know, hopefully you're stand up enough for them to be able to work with you, and you give them the space and the opportunity to make corrections where they need to make corrections if that comes about. That's how you form relationships. That's what this community is about. I said it at the top of the show. I'm all about community. I'm all about this community, and I'll protect it to the day I die. Now, and the community involves these vendors, you know, because they're in our spaces. They're sharing the entire convention experience with us. So when we're there, it's our home away from home. You know what I'm saying? Yep. You know, we're in these spaces. We're around people that we can vibe with, talk to, all of that. So, and that's what it's all about. That's what community is all about. You know, it doesn't just exist with us. It exists with everybody else too. Show organizers, the people that, you know, the guests that come out. Yeah, maybe they don't engage too deep into it like we do, but it's okay. You know, we're getting to meet our childhood heroes for the first time in person, and we're meeting these folks. Yeah, they're making money. This is what they do for a living. That's how they provide for their families, just like we have jobs and provide for our families, you know. But they do it in a different space than we do, because they're, you know, out there in the public eye. So we have to look at them as, we have to look and respect them as that is their job. One of the voice actors that a lot of voice actors I have, you know, unique relationships with. Greg Berger once told me, you know, take what you can, you know, get what you can out of what you're experiencing and cherish it for the rest of your life, because you're not going to be here forever, but that experience will live with you forever, you know. And, you know, it took a while to process that, because I was like, okay, am I dying next week? Or, you know, is this something that, is he dying next week? I don't know, but, you know. But you think about those things. You think about the things that, those conversations that you have with these different folks, and, you know, even my conversations with you guys. You know, we're talking about everything under the sun. You know, when it comes to everything, not just the toys. We're talking about our kids. We're talking about our professions. We're clowning around. You know, like, you know, we've been best friends for the last 40 years. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That's what feels good about community. You know what I mean? So. But yeah, that's hey, what was the question? Is
that wing got a little long on you, huh?
I think the second. I think it went into the first and the second one.
How'd you get involved with Botcon? And
Botcon, yeah, we went over that. Yeah,
and then the second part was your feelings with Hasbro versus and the mainline versus third party.
So I'm with who's going to give me what I want. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I've had Hasbro toys all my life. This third party thing is giving me a unique experience and a unique perspective of how what my toys should look like, what my collectibles should look like, what my display should look like. Now, there's this thing called cartoon accuracy when it comes to your figures. I want that because I love watching the show and being able to look over at my collection and be like, yeah. I love being able to not have to watch TV and just look at my figures and remember that episode that I loved back then. My favorite G1 episode is the Crimzeek episode. A lot of people laugh at me for that one. Crimzeek. Oh, remember that Crimzeek? Remember Crimzeek? You don't remember Crimzeek?
Yes, I do. Unfortunately,
you got a little circuit running roughshod all over the planet, and Autobots are chasing them, trying to catch them. It's like that was Pokemon before Pokemon came out. Got to catch them, right? So yeah, that's one of my favorite episodes. Everybody asks me what my favorite episodes, and I don't know if that's a question that y'all have, but there you go.
Maybe we need to start asking that question.
Yeah.
What was your favorite episode in your G1 series? Yeah, that's a good question to ask.
Yeah.
So yeah, because like for example, and now I'm okay. Let me be a host for a second, guys. For your G1 cartoons, for your G1 Transformers, what was your favorite episode?
I'm going to be honest. I don't remember individual episodes. It all blurred together in my head as one long movie.
Okay.
But I really like the episode with Dinobot and his last stand.
Oh.
I don't remember the episode name. I'm sorry. But that episode.
Oh, no. I remember.
Yeah.
It was changing. No, not changing under the guard. Okay, so I can't remember the title right now. I do remember how emotional I got when I saw that episode. I remember me being emotional about that episode because that monologue he did at the end, I was like, I need to take off work. I'm done. Because I watched that in the morning. I watched that in the morning before I had to go to work. And I almost took off work because I was like, yo, Dinobot is dead. And then that speech he gave at the end, he was talking to Rat Trap, and he was talking to Rat Trap, and then he was talking to everybody else. You know, Rat Trap was his buddy. They were always at each other, but you can tell the love between them two. Yeah. You know, not sexual, but I'm talking about the brotherhood that they had. The brotherhood that they had, that they developed, and that's what I'm talking about. Character development. You didn't get that in our original G1 series. You get that in a lot of the shows now. That's the beauty of the shows right now. But that's what they're supposed to do. These shows and the new ones that are coming, they're supposed to evolve from what the old ones did. The old ones were the blueprints for what you're getting ready to create. Transformers 1 couldn't be created without someone knowing the blueprint to what the original stories were, you know. So but that episode, James, very emotional episode for me, you know, that because that whole scene was like, yo, I can't.
I mean, you didn't get that really in kids' cartoons.
You did not
back then.
You did not.
I remember
you know what else? And see, and I figured this was a whole Mainframe. You know, Mainframe was the one that did those shows back then. They did Reboot. They also did War Planets. I don't know if you remember War Planets. War Planets was also Shadow Raiders. So there was a scene in that show where the Fire Planet couldn't have their planet boosters activated. You got to watch the show to understand what I'm talking about. But the planets were, the War Planet was engulfing a lot of the planets. It was like their own Unicron, okay, to describe it. It was this giant entity that was eating whole planets. Now there was the ice planet, the plant planet, the ice planet, food planet, the stone planet, the rock planet, and the fire planet. All the worlds had world engines, and they were using those world engines, these giant engines, to have the planets have escape velocity. But the fire planet couldn't initiate theirs, and the Grand Vizier decided to stay back and sacrifice the planet to try to stop the war planet. That one right there. If you watch the whole series up to that episode, that's another Dinobot moment.
Really? Okay.
Yes.
I'll have to look into it.
Yeah, definitely. All right, what's yours? Come on, Bobby.
So this is the first thing that came to mind, and it's the plague episode. The plague episode.
The hate plague.
Yeah, when Optimus came back.
Yeah.
And
the return of Optimus Prime.
When Rodimus, when Rodimus went back to being Hot Rod.
Yeah.
And everything looked good. Galvatron and Prime kind of, were like, all right, there'll be no war today or whatever. There'll be, and I just thought
there'll be no war today.
Optimus Prime, because you talk about emotions. When Prime died, I was in the movie. Like, wait a minute, what, you know, we're gonna be right back after this commercial break, you know, like,
right.
know? And then the later on when they brought him back and he died again, I was like, yo, what are y'all doing? You know, y'all, I mean, did y'all not learn? And so when the plague episode up and they brought him back again, I was just like, I was sitting there like this.
Okay. How long are we gonna have him this time? So.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, you ain't getting me this time. Nope, I ain't shedding a tear. And then you know, he made it to the end, and I was like, yo, this is. I like this. So I think that's and I mean, there's probably other episodes that are, you know, I probably like more, like the action or the, you know, maybe comedy in it or something like that. But that's the one that stood out as like the, you know, again, coming from the for over a couple of years, you know, waiting to get to that point of seeing Prime die in the movie theater and then seeing Prime come back and actually stay alive before he died again, and you know, every other continuity he dies again. But you know, I was over it by then.
It became a theme. It became a theme for Optimus. Any Optimus Prime character, you know, because they even did it. They even did it in Beast Wars.
Yeah.
So they did it twice in Beast. No, they only did it once in Beast Wars, and he evolved again.
Now you ain't getting that emotions. You know, what was it? Sam Smith, you know, that song, I'm too good at goodbyes, you know. I'm not crying no more. You know, I understand what's going to happen. You're going to leave again. I know you're going to die again, and you're going to come back and you're going to die again. So yeah, that's probably my episode.
Right.
Or you know, a couple of episodes.
Yeah. All right, cool.
Well, let's move on to some of our final questions. And first we have about, you already talked about Community. So what do you think about what are your relationships with the Botcon exclusives and like the companies behind them? Because I think that's also a part of our community, even if they're overseas.
Yeah. So, I mean, it starts out with just you're reaching out to the companies and asking them if they want to, you know, participate in doing something exclusively with a show. And this happens with every show, depending on who they reach out to. And if that company wants to work with that show, they give them the parameters on what's needed. They discuss specific details like modifications of an existing figure, because it's usually an existing figure that they're going to do a retool or a repaint of, and you know, and developing a theme and a story for that particular toy, and actually giving it a personality in which, you know, you give it a unique name, you give it a character bio and all of that. So that's the process that happens with that. And you know, but again, that starts with the approach of, you know, hey, was thinking about, you know, looking at one of your figures, and I'd love to do this type of character with it. Even, you know, us as the Realm, when we approached Keith at X Transbots with it, you know, he was definitely feeling it. And you know, at that point, Ali has been in existence for a good 5-6 years at that point, and you've been getting Ali. You had Ali, the version 1. You got, I think, three different versions. You had three different versions of Ali at that point, because they eventually came out with the die-cast pieces for it. But yeah, and you know, just approaching and having that conversation is literally how it starts. And they give you the details and parameters of how that works. If you agree to the terms and agree to pricing and all of that type stuff, you then figure out how you're going to sell that particular exclusive, and how in the quantity that you are required to purchase. Because they require a set number of those figures to, you know, be made. You know, because they got to make their money. You're going to make your money when you sell it on your end, and that's how that happens. But yeah, that's generally how the exclusives come about.
Interesting. And we know you probably can't say anything, but do you have any details about what's coming up? in a few weeks.
So, fortunately, we've already revealed a couple of exclusives already on the Botcon site. Mm-hmm. There was something revealed at Toy Fair earlier in the year. If you don't remember it, you'll see it at Botcon when you're there.
Ooh.
But I will say this. It is, how can I say this? How can I really say this for those that, didn't see it? I can say that it is something that you've seen but you haven't seen, and the end is not dead.
Okay.
I feel like I can do better than that, though.
I do too.
I feel like I can do better than that.
Let me get the other ear out. Then hold on. Let me get this one.
Okay. This line is okay. This line has been this company has done this already, so it's not dead, and it won't be the end.
You know what that means, James?
Make Toy Seeker. That's a joke.
If I see another color of these Make Toy Seekers come out, man, I'm gonna lose my freaking mind.
Honestly,
I can't remember if y'all cuss on here. I don't want to mess with y'all monetization or anything like that. But but
honestly,
every time
I'd be okay with another color, I don't want the same color again. Give me a brown.
Every time
give me
I see,
orange.
we had a brown. They had a brown one. They did a brown one. Yes, they did a brown one.
Colorverse?
Look it up. Yeah, Colorverse. They did a brown one already. Look it up. I'm telling you, it just wasn't. It just wasn't a con exclusive. They just did it to do it. They did it in the off season. Look it up. They did a brown one. Look it up, because we called it we called it shit scream at. Oh no, sorry. We literally called it turd scream, if you get what I mean at the time. Nice. But yeah, they did a brown one. Look it up. I'm telling you. Right. Matter of fact,
I'm surprised because
let me decode what he's saying over here.
Bobby doesn't have that one.
I don't have that one, so that's why I'm like, it came out. Now I know we've talked about ones that, because I have all the Colorverse.
Mm-hmm.
I hate to admit it.
Yeah, because I have the orange one. I picked up the orange one when they first started doing the Colorverse ones in that
the tangerine
plastic shell casing. Yeah, I got the tangerine one. Man, the one thing that concerned me, and I got that one and Paul, and because Paul was like the purple one.
Yep.
Yeah. So, okay, I'm looking on. Okay, I don't see it. Okay, I see the black one.
I didn't
see the black one.
I'm sure. I promise you, they did a brown one time. They teased either that or they teased the brown one.
They might have. There's because we've shown a graph that has all these different colors of them, and it seems like they're actually picking them from this graph because all the names are pretty much the same. But I hate to admit it, but I have all of the Colorverse. That's why I was just like, wait a minute. Unless there was an exclusive.
Wait, you got did you get this black one?
Yeah.
You got the black one? They called it whitewash. Wow.
Yeah.
It had a different name.
It had a different name.
That they changed.
Okay.
That
they changed it to whitewash. Wow.
It's probably a better thing.
It was a Black Friday exclusive. Okay. Look, they call it whitewash, and it was a Black Friday exclusive. Yeah, I'm done.
Yeah.
Let me get off that.
Yeah.
Anyway,
we touched on that a little bit.
Okay. All right.
All right. So we one of our members, he's very popular in our comments. Blue Destron Forge. He had a question for you, and him and I are in the same boat. So it's actually something that struck home for me. And this is his first year attending Botcon, mine too.
Okay.
What should he expect compared to other conventions of this size, and what you recommend as a must-have that sets Botcon apart this year?
Expect to be excited and thrilled to participate and not just attend.
Ooh.
You see what I'm saying? So last year we introduced having activities at the convention. Now you already I know you've probably heard of us doing scavenger hunts for pins.
Yes.
I need those pins.
Yeah. we did Optimus last year.
I know,
and you know, yeah. We did Optimus last year, and we're doing Jazz this year, as you've seen, and we're going to be revealing the last pin I believe we're going to be doing that at the show.
Okay.
So now with each pin, there's an activity tied to it. There's something that you have to do to get these pins. So
I don't have to like.
No.
Oh, okay.
No. We're not.
We'll get some pins too.
When we give out beads, we'll cross that road. Then, but yeah, and that's if we show up in like New Orleans or something like that. But the one thing about Botcon that's unique, that sets us apart from a lot of the conventions, is that, you know, we want everyone to be involved. We want this to be the convention that they come to where they can not only just attend. You can just attend if you want, and it's optional to be part of a lot of the activities that we'll have that take place. Last year we had something called Energon Toss, which is basically cornhole. You are familiar with cornhole?
Yeah.
Okay. So cornhole, we turned it to Energon Toss. We redesigned the boards to be themed for Botcon and all of that. It turned into it literally became a competition. We actually thought that it was going to bomb, but it was one of the greatest experiences that we did that year last year. I mean, it was people lined up to play the game. I mean, it was a lot of moms and kids that were at the show that didn't want, because, you know, when you got these shows, it's basically a lot of it's females there too that are interested in the lore as well. But the majority of the people there are guys, because it's toy related, and they're going into the vendor room and they're going to buy stuff. A lot of the ladies don't really get into that, and they're trying to do something else. We had that whole cornhole thing. It became mothers versus fathers. It became kids versus kids. It became this whole thing. We turned it into a contest. We gave out prizes. I mean, the participation was madness for that. And at the end of Botcon, when we do the panel with Hanny, to, you know, he takes a Q&A. They literally said, "Bring that back." So we're bringing that back again this year, in addition to other activities that we're going to have. And I promise you, you are going to love it. I think we're going to be revealing some of the other activities that we're going to do, but some of them we're going to leave until the weekend of that show. One of those activities is going to be a contest, and it's going to be huge. But it's going to require you to do an entry fee for it. It's not expensive at all, but I guarantee you're going to absolutely love it. And that's all I can say about that, you know. But expect whenever you come to Botcon, expect to have fun all the way around. We're not closing the doors. We're not closing up Botcon at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. Botcon is going to go from morning to night. Wow. So it's going to be, we're going to be open. Average time is going to be from 10 to 10. I'm going to put it to you like that. There's going to be late night activities too. So expect to have fun with everybody, you know, and it's all Botcon doing it, you know.
I don't know that when you said it that way. I think that's how Diddy got in trouble.
Oh, okay. Let me say it this way. Let me say it like this. Men, women, and children of all ages will be able to come out and enjoy themselves. If the kids got to go to bed, you know, if you got somebody there that can watch your kids, come on back out. We're going to still have activities. As a matter of fact, a lot of the activities involve kids. So unless you're, because it's the weekend, unless you're really worried about them getting their sleep, just bring your kids too. Everything is themed for everybody. It's not just an adult thing. It's not just a kid thing. It's themed for everyone. So if you're coming to Botcon, expect to have fun. Expect to really just have fun. The only thing the one thing I can describe that comes close to it is almost like being at a theme park, but not being in the sun.
Oh,
see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No roller coasters or anything like that, but you're just, because when you go to a theme park, you're having fun doing everything, even walking and running around and all that stuff. You're having fun, being in the open space, being with people that you like. But yeah, this is going to be Botcon is going to start being big when it comes to this stuff, because we've already been doing it. And we've gotten a lot of great feedback as a result of it, and we've gotten a lot of admission done already in regards to people attending the convention as well. So look forward to having panels after hours that you can attend, and then look forward to special events that are going to be happening on Saturday. Check out the Botcon website. And check out everything that's going to be going on. We will have a schedule up soon, as well as we are within 2 weeks of the event being here, so we're very close. Botcon 2025, Fort Wayne, Indiana, June 12th through the 15th. Make sure you bring your positive mind with you, and please bring money. But anyway,
facts.
But no, look forward to having an absolutely great time when you're there at Botcon, and we look forward to having everyone there. It's going to be a blast, I promise you. Yeah, and I want to, I'm staff, so I won't be able to participate in a lot of the activities, because all of the activities involve prizes too. So, I won't be able to participate. But I wish I could, man, because last year I wanted to participate in some of the things that they were doing. And we were actually supposed to have a staff versus volunteers energon toss at one point. But, because of time, we couldn't really get that one done. So, who knows? Maybe we'll pull it off this year on like a Sunday or something like that.
Well, I'm excited to be going. This is my first year going. I really want to thank you for coming on. I think this was great. Great getting to know you a little bit deeper. Sharing our mutual likes. Some of our dislikes.
Yeah.
Really. But no, I think this was really great information. If you haven't already got your tickets for Botcon, go ahead and get them. It's not too late to go. I do have one. Is it always going to be in Fort Wayne? I know you mentioned it was in Tennessee before. Is it going to change venues for 26 or?
So we're looking to have a centralized show. I can tell you that Fort Wayne, Indiana is going to be the home show. Not every year, because we still want to travel. We still want to get around the country. But Fort Wayne is home for Botcon, and because if you know the history of Botcon started in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and Fort Wayne, the area of Fort Wayne has evolved greatly since the first show. But yeah, we definitely look forward to being in other locations, East Coast, West Coast, South, North, but maybe not North, but we're looking to have it in places where the climate is warm. You don't have to deal with a lot of cold. It won't be too hot.
Atlanta.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Texas. All right. So, but yeah, we're looking to get around. We're looking to definitely get around the country, and hopefully, and as you know, if you know the history of Botcon, also we've gone international. Botcon has gone international too. So there's a lot of goals. There's a lot of goals in mind when it comes to Botcon as the show. But the main focus is making sure that anyone that attends Botcon is going to remember that experience at every time. And that's the ultimate goal. No matter where we go, we want to definitely give you the opportunity to have that memorable experience. So please come to Botcon. If you haven't thought about coming already, if this whole interview hasn't shown you that how much fun that we're going to have, me watching Bobby play Energon toss and all of that good stuff. If that doesn't convince you to look. Your members have to come and watch you do Energon toss. I'm just gonna put it right there, okay? Because I'm probably gonna put you against another YouTuber, and I'm gonna have y'all, battle it out. Who's the best show when it comes to? Yeah, you know what? Members, Bot versus Con members. If you ain't at Botcon this year, you're gonna miss it. You're gonna miss it. I literally just came up with an idea, and I'm gonna put it into play. Make sure you're there because you got to witness this. I want to see how competitive Bobby really is. I want to see how competitive you really are, Bobby.
I don't think you want to flip this.
They're gonna be because there's gonna be a couple more YouTubers there, and I want to put y'all together. So, all right, yeah. And you're gonna need a partner. You're gonna need a partner anyway. So yeah, because Energon Toss and cornhole is a two.
Right.
The team game. So yeah, it's a 4-player game, 2-on-2. So yeah. Make sure y'all there.
Stay tuned.
June 12th through the 15th.
Yeah,
all right.
Okay.
By the way, June 12th through the 15th, Botcon, Fort Wayne, Indiana. Be there or be square, and Miss Bobby playing Energon toss. Thanks. All right. If I haven't promoted it already, we're going to have Botcon 2025 in Fort Wayne, Indiana, June 12th through the 15th. Be there.
All right.
And
night. We got everything going on. You probably won't get any sleep, thanks to us. So,
well, I'll have my normal day then. I'll be a normal.
What we need sleep for?
I'll get to sleep. I'll sleep
be a whole weekend party. Hey man, shoot. Yeah, I sleep when I'm dead too. Yeah, there you go. See, you're already in the right mind frame, Yeah. Yep.
Well, James, any final questions? Any final thoughts?
This seems like a lot of fun. I wish I could go this year. I can't, but I'm looking forward to 2026, and definitely. Indeed. And somebody needs to film Bobby doing that because I want to see it.
Oh, don't worry. Don't worry. I got you, James. I got you.
Let me stretch a little bit.
I got you, James.
He's got to start practicing now.
Yeah.
I got you, James. We're gonna get this done. All right. Even if I gotta Facebook message you, even if I got a Facebook do the video Facebook Live and do it that way, yeah, we're gonna get that done. All right. Perfect. I'm gonna call you first, but hey James, pick your phone. Get on Facebook real quick.
Check
It's no time.
Look,
and I don't check Facebook that often, but I'll do it for that.
No, back, James. It's about to go down.
It's going digital.
About to go down.
But wait, when is it happening?
Fort Wayne, Indiana, June 12th through the 15th, 2025. Make sure you are there. If you haven't gotten your book, if you haven't gotten your rooms already, it's too late. But try to get one of the rooms at, because the discount that we offered on the, and this is something I also forgot to mention. We did get a discount rate from one of the main hotels that we got. There's 4 hotels surrounding the Grand Wayne Center. Mm-hmm. So you'll be able to get a room somewhere. Unfortunately, the promotion for the rooms that, they're gone now. So, but you'll be able to get in one of the hotels there, even the one at the convention center. Now, the convention center is its own entity. Each hotel is directly across the street from the Grand Wayne Center. You do not have to go far. If you're coming in, if you're flying in and flying into Fort Wayne, the only transportation you're going to need is transportation from the airport to Fort Wayne, to the city of Fort Wayne. I didn't need a car at all last year. We didn't need a car. Everything was in walking distance. So everything is right there. You don't have to drive anywhere. Once you're at the convention center in your hotel, you're good. You're good the entire time.
Damn, I don't have enough time. I was thinking about doing another a custom pair of shoes for this event, but I don't have enough time. So maybe next time.
You do custom shoes?
Yeah, I got a couple, Bob vs. Con themed Nikes.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah. So
you're a sneakerhead. Okay.
I'm a collector head. So I have a little bit of this, a little bit of that,
A lot of this, a lot of that.
Well, by definition, we're all collector heads. So
yeah. So
I'm talking about sneaker heads,
Yeah, no, I'm not that big. I used to be, but not anymore. My day job doesn't allow me to go that route as much. But
yeah.
When I do, I do.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right, man. Well, look, I'm looking forward to seeing you, man. I can't wait. I can't wait till you get up there, man. Make sure you look for me as soon as you get there, man.
I'm hitting you when I land, so you already know. I'll be in on Thursday, and if you're there, let's link up, and
I'll be there.
Okay,
I'll be there.
Then it's a go. So
all right,
I appreciate you coming out.
Anytime, guys. I appreciate you all having me on here. I had an absolute great time, and let's do this again in some other format. I love to be on here with y'all again. I love what y'all are doing. Thank you so much for everything that you are doing for your members and for everyone else that's watching the show. I really enjoy what I see when it comes to the content that comes out of your show, especially when you two go at it, man. It's just the funniest thing to me, man. It's very entertaining. Thank you so much for all that entertainment. Cool.
Definitely. And
so if you haven't already, go check out Realm of Collectors. Go check out Do You Even Transform, Bro? Check out The Realm. Check out Derek B.
Derek. Okay, I give you my. Okay, so I give you what I do on my shows. So you can find your boy Derek B on your Book of Faces. You can also find me on Instagram as Derek WHAAAT B. You can also find me on Monday nights on our Realm of Collectors YouTube channel. You can find me on Monday nights Into the Realm ETR, where I give you where I bring the Robot news to you. Do my best to let you know what's the latest and greatest and what's coming out, what's getting ready to come out, what's getting ready to release in your stores. What you're getting ready to put in your cart. I want to let you know what you should and shouldn't do. Okay. Also, we have Do You Even Transform, Bro? Do You Even Transform, Bro? Every other Tuesday night. Okay. And where we discuss everything related to Transformers. We have deep dive discussions and related to the collector community. We also have other shows on the Realm of Collectors YouTube channel as well. We also have Shelf Gravy. For you designers, you creators out there that want to catch that every other Wednesday, that's Shelf Gravy. We also have Figure Banging. Figure Banging. I know. Don't do it. Don't do it. Figure Banging, where we We're our team. We're our team. Every other Wednesday, takes the latest figure and takes it out and just demo it and give their opinions on the transformations. Let you know if it's any good. Let you know if you need any special tips on how to do specific transformations or particular figures or whatever. We also have on Fridays. We have the Realm Hatton Project, where we spice it up on Fridays. And, late night Fridays, you don't have anything to do, check out the Realm Hatton Project, where the guys on there take on controversial topics that's going on in the collector community as well. And on other Friday, and the alternating Friday for that is the Rock Hangout, where we have members of the Realm come in and, we all just get on StreamYard and just talk about anything. Anything goes, okay? And it's moderated by my good friend Wolfie and EE. So, but make sure you check out the Realm of Collectors YouTube channel, where you can get all kinds of content. Not trying to steal your subscribers. Yes, I am. But it's gonna be. You'll have absolute great, endless fun when it comes to checking out the Realm of Collectors YouTube channel, and check out our Facebook group as well if you want to join in. Just come in, answer a couple of questions so we can get to know you, and then just come in and enjoy everything that we have going on in the Facebook groups as well. And that's it for me, man.
There you have it. I mean, if that's a lot of choices, you have options there, and one of those fits. As long as you just don't leave us. But
right, yeah, no, don't leave here.
Let's spread the love everywhere, and as Derek said, let's grow this community. Let's build. Let's all hang out when we can. Let's all support each other. Derek, absolutely.
And also go to the show in which you love. Don't be ashamed to rock your show. Okay, go anywhere you want to be. Wherever you go, you always got family waiting for you. All right.
There you have it. And where we going? Botcon is.
And Botcon, make sure you come to Botcon because your family's definitely there. Your aunts, your uncles, your nieces, your nephews. Even if you don't like them, still come hang out with them. Botcon 2025, Fort Wayne, Indiana, June 12th through the 15th. Father's Day weekend. Bring your pops. Bring your baby daddies. Bring your uncles, your nephews. Anyone that's a father. Even if you don't like your father, bring him, because if you're under 12, you get in for free. So hey,
shave this off.
All kids 12 and under get in free, absolutely free, with a paid admission with a paid adult.
Well, there you have it. We really appreciate it, Derek. We will catch you on the flip side. As always, to all debates are won. James, any last words?
Go check out Realm of Collectors, and we will see you guys on the next one.
Later. Signing off.
Sir.
Appreciate
it.
Later.